Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you about destiny swapping, soul fragmented soul harvesting, and how the enemy is being acquiring this aspect of yourself without your consent. You know, so when they put you in a traumatic state, like their your soul become essence begin to fracture, right? And then when that happens, then you know basically this little energy or soul essence basically leave your body. So they use like demons, jinn, whatever, archons, reptilian, and to harvest this energy. And everything has happened to you, everything has happened to you in your life, where you have suffered or you have felt pain, and because they create this trauma in your life. And when they do that, then your soul is fragmented, right? So the enemy use, like I said, demons or whatever, archons, reptilians, to harvest. So, but this aspect of yourself is the enemy have taken it without consent. And then I found out from what I was reading that you can, because those essence of your soul are connected to your being. You have to call them. You have to call them back to your vessel, because it's yours. You don't have to ask for permission. You take what's yours, right? So you call this essence of God within you back to your vessel, because it's still connecting to you. It's fractured, it does not mean it's no longer obtainable. You can call what's yours back to you. And they would what they would do also? They will put a demon or entity or jinn or reptilian or whatever, most of the archons, to block the light of God from entering your vessel, right? Because that's what they do. Because when they fragmented you through radiation, energy attack, all of that stuff they do to you, they want to make sure they're disconnecting you from the creator, the maker within yourself, right? And so they don't want you to be whole. You know what I mean? Because they want something from you. You know what I mean? They take something from you because to give it to their antichrist, whatever that antichrist, they give it to him because he doesn't have lots of magical power. He takes it from us. He exists because of us. So take what's yours back. Take your power back. Do not allow the enemy to take what's not theirs. What God has put in your vessel is yours. It's nobody else's to take or to harvest without your knowledge. These people go through rituals. They go through all those things because when the celebrities make deals for their soul, they do it, with their consciously. They're aware of it. That when they're making deals with their complete awareness. It's not because this is universal law exists. They have to use free will. They have to use free will to make the decision. You understand? And for us, they've done it to us without our consent, without our knowledge. So, and I told you how they do it, you know? And also, this entity or these people who are working for the enemy, who are playing big part in creating this trauma in your life. And judgment will fall on them. Now they're like, they think they are in the clear. They think they're not going to be, you know, brought into high court of heaven. You know what I mean? They could just do whatever they want because, you know, they're above all. You know, they equate themselves. These people who are targeting us, equating themselves to God, you know? And they try to put you in a hopeless state, in that mindset where you think, oh, you know, maybe I should make deal, you know, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. No, you don't do nothing, you know? Don't do anything. Do not budge to their demands, you know what I mean? Do not cave in to their wicked deeds, you know, towards you. You know, you are a sovereign being. That's just not how God created you. Do not let people intimidate you to believing you're hopeless, you know, because they've done it for so long. You think they actually have the upper hand on you, you know? No, nobody have that upper hand on me, you know what I mean? Nobody have that authority or dominion over me. You know, my maker, the creator, the only one. But nobody else. Thank you. You know, you're not gonna intimidate me. You're not gonna try to do horrible things to me and my family and get away with it. No, not in this lifetime. And I'd like to make another statement. I think at one point in my life, I said, you know, I do not want to be reincarnated on Earth again, you know? Yeah, but then when I found out the order of Melchizedek, they come in every time. You know, I would not mind coming with them every time. If you know what? If I were to join the order, yeah. But it's not in a human form. I would not come in a human form. I would come exactly how they came into Earth. I don't want to be like in a receiving end. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, I do not like people that have power over me or anybody. You know, I don't want to be like have to learn. When you fall into the earth, you forget who you are. You come in a clean slate. You don't know who you are, and you have to relearn everything. You have to relearn everything about yourself. You know, I don't like that. You know, I want to be coming to earth, remembering everything. You know, I don't have to, you know, remember any of this, and I don't want to come in this form. You know, yeah, that here you have it. And because why would I do that? Yeah, because I have a problem with wicked. I have problem with wicked people. You know, and do I think wicked people should be eliminated from the face of the earth? Yes, of course, no question asked. Yeah, so the Order of Melchizedek stands for what I believe. They stand exactly what I believe. You know, these people, they are acting like God Almighty, you know, without, you know, thinking that there's consequences happen when you break these laws. You know, do I think all sins equal the same? No, I don't. You know, I do not think all sins are equal. You know, the sins are outweighs others. You know, some sins are higher in ranking. You know, killing somebody, shedding of innocent blood, consumption of human flesh, either consumption of human flesh, harming others, wars, and stuff. Do I think killing somebody equate to stealing? No, I do not think that. You know, even when I fornicated, I do not think fornicating is equal to killing someone. You understand? It's not the same. It's not. Could never be the same to God. You know? Yeah. One is harming yourself, the other one is harming others. How could that be the same? Just think about it for a second. They're not the same. Yeah. And yeah, so that's what they do. They put you in this, and they harvest this fragmented soul, because they put you in hypnotic state, and they put you in a near death experience. When you know what that happened, near death experience, when you go to sleep, because when you go to sleep, you are the most vulnerable to attacks. That's why in Islam they teach us about praying for protection during your sleep, right? Why? Because Islam knows, this is what's your most vulnerable state, and that what the enemies are usually attacking you. They are attacking you. You're at your most weakest. So just has to tell you, like, how coward the whole thing is. When you're awake, they don't do as much as when you sleep, because you are defenseless. You're asleep. You're like, you're out. That's what they do. So they put you in this near-death experience when you sleep, and then they remove, because they program all this trauma, because they create these certain traumas in your life, affliction, if you will, and they program them through witchcraft and magic, whatever. It's not magic, witchcraft. Magic is a fancy word for doing people wrong. Witchcraft, to me, wicked. Anyhow, all witchcraft is wicked. It's not magical. Nothing magical about that. Anyhow, what they do is they program these situation, trauma that happen in your life, and then they remove it as a soul essence, fragmented soul essence, because you are suffering. You carry this suffering within your vessel, within your being, emotional body, right? And then they begin to move it, to harvest what's not theirs. And they said, people who experience alien abduction. What do you think alien abduction is? Alien abduction is done by the governments. It's not an alien coming from the sky to get you. You know what I'm saying? Alien abduction is done by the government. You don't believe me? Go ahead and look it up, guys. Nobody's coming in a spacecraft from the sky to take you to whatever, but it's done by the government. So they use these entities, disguise themselves as aliens, and because what happened to me when I remember when I was targeted heavily, I was just like a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. And I remember I had a dream that I was coming out of spacecraft. Like, what the hell? How come I never dreamt about a spacecraft or aliens and stuff until I became a target individual? I have never in my entire life, okay? Before I was a target individual, before 2014, before I became a target individual, I have not dreamt of an alien or alien aircraft picking me up and dropping me off. Yeah. So they do it through soul transfer. They call soul transfer. They harvest what's yours and leave what's not. So they replace part of your soul, because when they remove part, of your soul become, it has a hole in your soul. Think of it. Think of you having something as say for example, a pizza, a pie. Before you cut it, it's a pie, right? When you remove a slice, it's not a pie anymore. It's like, missing a slice, right? So that's what your soul. They remove, and then when they remove that, then they put in a demon in this space they have created. And so anyhow, they remove and they put a demon in there to hold the fort, if you will, hold the fort, and so your soul essence will not go back to that space anymore. So yeah, that's how they do it. I've been reading last night about this stuff. Been figuring out what's going on. And then when that's happened to you, you begin to feel like yourself. You begin to feel like you feel possession. You feel like it's not your true self. You know what? I know my thoughts from somebody else's. So for example, if a thought crosses my mind, I know mine from someone else. Even though this demon to begin to mimic you, to begin to imitate every part of your being, and because they've been there for a long time, they read your thought patterns and trying to figure it out, but they still, their thoughts, it doesn't come completely me. So I always know, anyhow. So you have to call. So yeah. So what you do is you call back what's your back. You call back what's this guy. He came in here when I was recording. He's shouting, a black guy, shouting, calling. you have angels shit. He was saying, anyhow. He was saying all of this stuff because they sent him here to start something, right? But anyhow, to get back to what I'm saying, so what they do is they replace part of you, and they replace part of you. And but that soul essence that they've taken from your vessel or your being is still connected to you, even though they sever cords, but you have to create prayer to call back what's yours. You have to call back what's yours. You cannot allow, you have to call back what's yours. You cannot allow the enemy to take something is not theirs, and because that's what they're doing. They do it for the longest time, trying to make you feel like you have no choice and whatnot. You have to join them, and then they behind the scene they're doing that. They're stealing from you. You understand? But so do not allow people to take something is not theirs. You call back. You're calling God of creation. You're calling the infinite. You call to put back what was taken from you. To cancel all contract, all agreement done during dream state. Because they create contract and agreement during your dream state without your knowledge. You understand? So what they do is then because they think they're justified. The problem is they're so messed up in the head, they think they are justified to take something is not theirs and to hold it hostage, and then they put you in this I have no choice state of mind, to get you to say, okay, let's make a deal. No, do not. This is the name of the game. This is how the enemy, this is the tactics. how the enemy operates. When I've been at this game for a long time, and I've been dealing with this wicked doers for a long time. So as much as I've been studying you, I've been learning a lot about them, and it was so easy. We just follow the line of deception. If you go through the deception, that you figure them out. Everything they're telling you is built on deception. Nothing is true. Okay? Because that's how Satan is. Satan operates on deception. And Satan operating on deception, he's not one of these, entities or whatnot who come at you with the truth. He always gonna spin something out of nothing, and so anyhow, that was reality. So what do you think Satan have created? Do you think they're going to be truthful? No, it's not going to be truthful. So what do you expect his his seed to be? His seed is not built on truth. It's built on deception. So you have to attack this entity they put in place to block your divine essence or your soul consciousness, the soul consciousness from entering your vessel. They put it in there, so you have to destroy it. We're calling, the great, in the name of the infinite, the name of Yeshua, the name of the hidden one, the one who exists outside of creation, because God does not exist inside, exists outside of creation. That's why they said, in Islam, he hover up in heaven. He comes down, during Ramadan, he comes down at night, certain days and whatnot, to grant people wishes, So he's outside of creation, you understand? And so you call that name, and you have to destroy this entity for blocking your blessing, your soul. Your soul is God-given. God gifted you this soul essence. And these people, they think they have the right to take something is not theirs. And hold us hostage, if you will, without making any deals. It's frustration. They get frustrated when you're not making a deal. Because they've tried everything with you. They've tried everything, every name on the book. Attacking you behind closed doors and, rallying all these wicked people, to come and to say things to you. Like this slave the black guy who just passed by me and started saying stuff to me. You think you're really angel? Like, yeah, okay, whatever. Anyhow, he does not know he's a slave. The problem is, the slave who accepted to be a slave do not think they are a slave. They think with a white people mentality, in the Zionist Jews mentality, because slavery and all of that created by the Zionist Jews. Why do you think the slave ships that came in United States, who brought the slave from Africa, and who do you think owned those ships? They said the government of the United States went to Africa and got the slaves. Who do you think sold these ships? These ships were sold by the Zionist Jews. It enslaved the Israelites, God chosen, and to bring them as a hostage to the United States. That little story, that's what I just told you, is left out of their history, their false history. Of course, they always, World War I, World War II is them, The Holocaust is them. The Holocaust is not even completely existed, it's manufactured, and yeah. So anyhow, that's some of the things. They remove themselves from the story. They tell you a story and they make sure they leave no trace of them in the story. You understand? So anyhow, that's what I'm, you call back what's yours, and do not stay strong, stay put, and God will prevail. Do not allow the enemy to breathe down your neck to make you feel like you have no choice but to know this is all mind, mind control and mind games they play. And they use psychology. They're using psychology on you. You have to be smart. You have to decipher what they're telling you. You know what I mean? What they're doing to you. You have to know your enemy. I'm telling you about your enemy. If you watch all my videos from YouTube, I've been telling you a lot of truth about them. They think they're the only one who have the upper hand. No, you have the upper hands too, because you have a choice. Everything is done to you was done behind the veil, is done in the darkness, and they broken many laws. And they're just upset. They have this lump of money, a load of money, millions of money. They want to give it to you, but it's at a cost. When you accept that money, that means you're accepting whatever they've done to you. You see, money is the root of all evil. Who said that? But anyhow, it's true. Material world was created by Satan. Material world, this by this entity, so he created the material world, and that's why the name of the game is you do not be part of this material world. Do not accept anything from them, because if you were to accept, you're accepting what's done to you and your family. No, I don't think so. That's not in my lifetime that I would accept anything from them. Give it to the slave. Give it to the slaves that they're working for you, and saying stuff to you. Bringing them, come and talk to me, like this black guy coming out around. Poor guy. He's like he's lost touch. With himself. He doesn't know he's a slave. When you're like sent to talk to somebody you do not know, of through lies they fed you, you're a slave. Slaves are obedient to their masters. That what these people are. I am not a slave. I'm gonna continue fighting. But I hope to God offer me a seat in the order of Melchizedek, I will certainly take it. You know what I'm saying? Because I have unfinished business. I have unfinished business to deal with. So I'm gonna come back with an army to deal with you, especially the slaves. The slave who said things to me, who did things to me. You know what I mean? All this government, they're going to be dealt with, This is not forever, guys. God, on my side. And God knows I hate losing. God knows I hate losing. I will never lose with God. Because with God, I'm everything. Without God, I'm nothing. You understand?
Looking around, you're trying to drive the car, and you're worried about everything else.
So, I am with God. I'm everything. Without God, I'm nothing. Remember that. Remember that, guys.